Welcome to another edition of the RWTA Chilled Out series. My name's Marianne Kinsell. I am the Executive Officer of the Refrigerated Warehouse and Transport Association. Today I'm joined by new member Hamid Faraoui, Chief Operating Officer of Green Peak Energy. Hamid, welcome to the RWTA.
Good morning, Marianne. Pleasure to be here.
And you too. Hamid, energy is undoubtedly one of the biggest operational challenges facing the Australian cold chain, both the warehouses and the transport sector. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about practical solutions that could help our members. Green Peak Energy's perspective, what are the biggest mistakes businesses make when they're looking at reducing their energy costs? And where do you think the greatest opportunities for them lie?
Good question, Marianne. Look, it's whether it's a mistake or just the complexity, I would probably focus on more. Cold storage logistics is highly energy intensive. The warehousing is quite typically fitted out with a lot of infrastructure that can make this building itself, the complexity in the structural evaluations of the buildings, complicated. And you're probably tackled from multiple angles of people trying to sell you an asset fundamentally. And there's a lot of friction. Landlords are involved, property managers are involved. And how do you unpack an energy bill to begin with, right? It's the industry is not easy to navigate. Fundamentally, that's where Green Peak Energy comes in to support our clients and our partners. Our role is to remove that friction. We have an in-house team of engineers, project managers, asset managers, would dare say with several hundred years of experience in the industry combined. And our role really is to look at that entire ecosystem that operation operates under. We look at the energy bills, unpack that, what are their demands, as well as then look at their buildings and their assets that they operate in to see how we can design the right system, not just technically, but one that delivers long-term value for the client. And probably the biggest value add that Green Peak Energy brings to that equation is we remove that capital required to deliver that system. These are not cheap assets to install. And we recognize that money is always best invested into the business rather than on ancillary items around the assets that they operate in. So that's our role, to remove that friction, reduce the operating costs of our partners, and really deliver long-term assurance with regard to energy for our clients.
Absolutely. And look, one thing particularly caught my attention with Green Peak Energy is your power purchase agreement model. And this is where businesses can install renewable energy without the significant upfront capital investment. And you actually touched on that. Explain how that works and why the approach is particularly attractive for energy intensive industries like ours.
Say it's very highly energy intensive industries, cold chain logistics. So fundamentally, the systems required are quite expensive, typically requiring some additional structural integrity assessments as well as supporting infrastructure, network applications. That comes with quite a significant upfront cost. Solar is cheap. Let's not beat around the bush. Renewables has come down. Installation cost for renewables has come down substantially. But like all industries, we're also suffering from input cost increases thanks to the global conditions at the moment. What Green Peak does is we actually remove all of that capital requirement from the client side. We identify the opportunity, as I mentioned, we size the systems, we actually go to market to create a competitive tension to ensure that the system cost is the best value, not necessarily the cheapest because we're here for the long term, but the best value system that can be delivered for the client. But this is the value add. Green Peak Energy actually puts forward all of the capital required. We will own that system. We kind of think of us as a intermediary where typically you would contract directly with a solar installer to fully fund and then install a system, and then you're scratching your head for the next 15, 20 years. How do I maintain it? Green Peak Energy comes in. We will contract for the installation. Our team of experts will oversee the quality assurance, safety, engineering to deliver it. So none of that is required to be paid for by the client. once the system is fully installed and operational, what does occur is then we will sell that energy at a much lower rate to you compared to your grid electricity costs. So it's one, an energy pricing hedge. You're lowering your cost for the portion that the solar system is delivering to you. And it's set and forget. You don't need to worry about this. We maintain it, we insure it, we make sure that we don't make money if it doesn't generate. So it's actually our ultimate incentive to make sure that system is operating in a healthy state, as little impact to your operations as possible. So you take
That's
that money and
amazing.
invest it inside your business and grow production lines.
Yeah. And look, cost is one thing, but, the cold chain is under increasing pressure to improve sustainability while remaining commercially viable. And that's a bit of a tough call at the moment. So looking ahead to the next 5 to 10 years, because you touched on this, what changes do you think our members should be preparing for if they were to look into the future? And what advice would you give businesses that want to future-proof their operations before rising energy costs force their hand?
There's a lot of things happening. The renewable energy target essentially coming to an end in 2030, but there's new schemes coming out. So what does the future landscape on how you qualify and quantify your green credentials is quite an important matter, and it gets more complicated the larger an organization you are. Green Peak Energy supports you throughout that entire energy reporting and can assist or fully operate and maintain registrations that are required to register any
Yep.
green certificates that are there. We operate in Australia and New Zealand. Different states have different schemes in this matter. But fundamentally, monitoring and reporting is essential, which we fully wrap into the solutions as well. But longer term as well, we're also seeing a lot of volatility. Batteries are the big buzzword these days, right? And rightly so. They are becoming a critical backbone to the energy ecosystem. We're seeing a lot of subsidies coming into the landscape. So fundamentally, we allow your members to focus on cold store logistics, right? It's what you do best. Renewables is what we do best. And we'll navigate that complex environment and bring the best opportunities forward for you. If it's Victoria, what are the Victorian energy efficiency certificates, VECs, that are available to you? Is it Australian carbon credits? Is it large generation certificates? There's a lot of different products out there. We take that responsibility to ensure that the right product is delivered for you and delivers the maximum value for you as well, while meeting those carbon credentials that the marketplace is fundamentally asking for.
Being chief operating officer, you understand business. You can see and you can hear that in everything that you're saying. And energy is something that every single one of our members is thinking about. So it's been great to hear about some of the practical options available. Hamid, thank you for joining us today and for sharing, as always, your insights.
Thank you, Mary, and we look forward to working with the association.